Welcome to Fairy Tales Dashed 1.
Hello, little dreamers, big adventurers, and quiet ponderers gather. Round, get cozy, and let your imaginations unfurl like the sails of a grand ship. Because today, I have a very special story for you, one that tickles the heart and whispers about the wonderful power each of us holds. Are you ready? The story I have for you today is called Finn and the Silent Whispering Willow. In a valley nestled between rolling green hills and a lazy winding river lay the village of Oakhaven. Oakhaven was a pleasant place filled with the scent of baking bread and the distant bleating of sheep. But if you listened very, very carefully, you might hear a faint sigh carried on the breeze, a sigh that seemed to come from the very heart of the village. This sigh belonged in a way to a magnificent old willow tree that stood by the river bank. It was known as the Whispering Willow, though for many years now it hadn't whispered a single thing. The villagers remembered a time long, long ago when the Whispering Willow truly lived up to its name. Its leaves would shimmer with a gentle, knowing light, and the soft rustle of its branches was said to inspire dreams, solve puzzles, and even calm the most troubled heart. People would sit beneath its sprawling branches, sharing their hopes and their worries, and leave feeling lighter, clearer, as if the willow had absorbed their troubles and returned them as tiny sparks of wisdom. But over the generations, as Oakhaven grew busier and people became more focused on their daily tasks, the visits to the willow grew fewer, and the whispers grew fainter until one day they simply ceased. The tree remained a grand, beautiful landmark, but silent. It was still called the Whispering Willow, but it was just a name, now a ghost of its former glory. In Oakhaven lived a boy named Finn. Finn was a quiet boy, not one for boisterous games or loud declarations. He preferred to watch, to listen, to notice the small, often overlooked details of the world around him. He knew the precise spot where the first spring crocus would appear, the exact shade of gold on a robin's wing, and the way the river sparkled just before a rainstorm. While other children chased butterflies through meadows, Finn might be found sitting by the river tracing patterns in the water with a stick, or simply watching a busy ant colony. He often felt a little invisible, like a shadow flitting at the edge of the light, but he didn't mind too much. It gave him more time to observe. One crisp autumn afternoon, Finn found himself by the old Whispering Willow. He had always felt a strange pull towards it. Unlike the other villagers who saw a silent giant, Finn saw a tree that looked sad. Its branches, though still magnificent, hung a little heavier, its leaves a little duller than the vibrant green he knew they should be. He sat down at its base, leaning his back against its rough bark. He closed his eyes and listened, not for whispers, but for anything. He heard the distant bleating of sheep, the chirping of crickets, the gurgle of the river. But from the tree, only silence, a deep, heavy silence. Finn opened his eyes and looked up into the canopy. He noticed something else. The ground around the willow was dry, cracked in places. The leaves had a fine layer of dust on them, not the clean, shimmering quality he imagined they once possessed. He remembered old tales his grandmother used to tell, how the willow wasn't just given magic, but how it exchanged it, how it thrived on connection and care. He wondered with a quiet spark of determination if perhaps the willow wasn't broken, but just forgotten. The next day, Finn returned to the willow not empty-handed. He carried a small, rusty watering can from his garden shed. The sun was warm, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves of other trees, but the willow remained still. Finn carefully poured the water around its roots, a small offering. He didn't expect a miracle, but he felt a little better, as if he had shared a secret with an old friend. He continued this quiet ritual every day. He'd bring water, sometimes just a cupful, sometimes a full can. He'd gently wipe dust from a few of the lower leaves with his sleeve. He'd sit and talk to the tree, telling it about the new ducklings on the river or the funny cloud he saw that looked like a grumpy badger. He didn't expect a reply, but he felt that the tree was listening. Weeks turned into a month. The willow slowly, ever so slowly, began to change. The dry cracks in the earth around its base began to soften. A few new vibrant green leaves unfurled almost imperceptibly at the tips of its lowest branches. Still no whispers. The villagers, busy with their lives, barely noticed. They might see Finn by the tree and wonder what the quiet boy was doing, but they didn't stop. One afternoon, while Finn was watering, he noticed something peculiar. Near the oldest, gnarliest root of the willow, hidden beneath a tangle of weeds and fallen leaves, was a small indentation in the earth. It looked like a tiny, forgotten stream bed. He remembered another of his grandmother's stories about a hidden spring that used to bubble up near the willow, providing it with special life-giving water. Could this be it? With careful, patient hands, Finn began to clear away the debris. Twigs, stones, dried mud, he gently brushed them aside. It was slow work and his fingers grew sore, but he kept at it. After what felt like an hour, he uncovered a smooth, mossy stone. He pulled it away, and beneath it a tiny trickle of water, barely a whisper itself, began to seep from the earth. It was cool and clear, and it flowed directly towards the willow's roots. It wasn't a gushing fountain, but it was enough. Finn smiled a rare, wide smile. He spent the next few days clearing a small, winding path for the water, guiding it to nourish the tree. As the weeks passed, fed by Finn's constant care, and the rediscovered spring, the whispering willow truly began to transform. Its leaves grew greener, glossier, shimmering with a renewed vitality. Its branches stretched a little higher, as if reaching for the sun with new hope. Small, delicate new shoots appeared along its limbs. The villagers started to notice. "Look at the old willow," exclaimed Mrs. Gable, the baker, one morning. "It looks." Happier Old Man Hemlock, who had lived in Oakhaven his whole life, nodded slowly. It's got a sparkle it hasn't had in years." They saw Finn there day after day, quietly tending to it. They saw the little stream now flowing, clearly visible towards the tree. Some stopped to chat with him, asking what he was doing. Finn, usually shy, found the words to explain about the spring and about the quiet care he was giving the tree. He even shared a few of his grandmother's old tales about the willow's magic. Inspired by his dedication, a few children started to bring their own small cups of water or help Finn clear a stray weed. The quiet boy had unknowingly sparked a quiet revival. Then one sunny morning, as Finn sat beneath the willow drawing a picture of a bumblebee in his tiny sketchbook, a gentle breeze swept through the valley. It reached the whispering willow, and for the first time in generations, its leaves didn't just rustle. They sang. It wasn't a loud song or a booming voice. It was a soft, melodious whisper, like 1,000 tiny bells chiming in harmony, or the murmur of a forgotten lullaby. Finn felt it deep in his chest, a warmth, a sense of boundless peace, and a rush of new ideas. He looked up, his eyes wide. The whispering had returned, and it wasn't just him who heard it. A group of children playing nearby stopped their game, their faces alight with wonder. Mrs. Gable, hanging her laundry, paused, a thoughtful smile spreading across her face. Old Man Hemlock, sitting on his porch, closed his eyes and inhaled deeply, a tear tracing a path down his weathered cheek. The whispering willow had truly woken up. The return of the willow's whispers brought a gentle magic back to Oakhaven. It wasn't about granting wishes, not in the way a fairy godmother might. It was about inspiration. Children sitting beneath the willow found new games to play or thought of clever rhymes for their songs. Adults discovered solutions to long-standing problems or felt a quiet sense of peace that made them kinder to one another. The village's spirit lifted like a sleepy butterfly unfurling its wings. Finn remained the quiet boy, but he was no longer invisible. People smiled at him, thanked him, and often brought him little gifts. A freshly baked muffin from Mrs. Gable, a perfectly smooth skipping stone from a new friend. He still tended to the willow, but now he was joined by others. The little stream flowed freely, kept clear by many hands. The ground around the tree was soft and green, dotted with tiny wildflowers that had sprung up where Finn had watered. Finn learned that day, and in the days that followed, a very important lesson. He hadn't been loud or boastful. He hadn't demanded attention or performed grand feats. He had simply been there. He had noticed what others overlooked, and with quiet persistence and a caring heart, he had done something about it. He didn't need to be the biggest or the loudest to make the biggest difference. His presence, his quiet observations, and his small, steady actions had brought a forgotten magic back to his entire village. And as he sat beneath the now truly whispering willow, listening to its gentle, inspiring hum, Finn knew deep in his heart that being here and truly caring was the most powerful magic of all. And with that, our adventure with Finn and the whispering willow comes to a peaceful close. Isn't it amazing how even the quietest actions can create the most wonderful changes? If Finn's story sparked a little whisper of wonder in your own heart, a like on this video would be absolutely lovely. And if you'd like to join us for more enchanting tales and inspiring journeys, subscribing to our channel ensures you'll never miss our next adventure. Until then, keep noticing the quiet wonders around you. Keep caring and keep dreaming.
See you again, and do like, share, and subscribe the channel Fairy Tales.